Mr Blair deliberately withheld details about his health until after the polls had closed in the by-election last night in Hartlepool. The result was a success for his party, just. The Conservatives had a dreadful night, beaten into fourth place by the UK Independence Party. Here's Reay-Smith.
Iain David Wright, 12,752 votes.
It was a lot less than at the last general election, but for Labour candidate Iain Wright, it was enough. He was returned as MP for Hartlepool in the by-election, prompted by Peter Mandelson's move to Brussels. The new MP described it as a sweet victory. But for the Tories, it was an unmitigated disaster. They dropped from second place in the last election to fourth place last night, behind the Lib Dems and the UK Independence Party.
No, it's a disappointing result for us, and we have to take that on the chin. But we know that there was an element of tactical voting with our voters on the doorstep, willing to vote Liberal Democrat to try and get Labour out and give the Prime Minister a bloody nose. That's clearly what was going on there.
Thank you.
It's a nice theory, but nothing can disguise the fact that with an election expected in May, and with the present government unpopular thanks to the fallout from Iraq, the Tories were left humiliated. Protests from a group of Fathers for Justice campaigners disrupted the candidates' speeches, and Lib Dem Jody Dunn had purple powder thrown over her as she thanked her supporters. The Fathers for Justice candidate was arrested over the incident and later released on police bail. Jody Dunn appeared minus most of the purple powder in her interviews. The Tories will find their defeat far less easy to brush off. Reay-Smith, ITV.
Labour have won the Hartlepool by-election with a sharply reduced majority of just over 2,000. And the Conservatives have admitted they suffered a disappointing blow, coming fourth in the poll. The Liberal Democrats came a strong second, picking up over a third of the vote. The UK Independence Party were third. The turnout was 46%. Our political correspondent, Vicky Young, is in Hartlepool now. Vicky.
Well, Darren, this morning the posters are coming down, the campaign teams are moving out, all with very different views about what went on last night. The Tories, of course, licking their wounds after that terrible fourth place. But for Labour, relief and jubilation. They've managed to hold on to this seat, which has been a safe Labour stronghold for almost 40 years. Labour's newest MP on a victory parade in his hometown. Iain Wright campaigned hard on local issues. The party's majority was slashed to just 2,000, but he said it was a good result in difficult circumstances.
I'm going to work hard for the people of Hartlepool, starting from today, making sure that I respond to their concerns, and hopefully that will be rewarded with a victory in the general election.
Jody, Dunn, 10,700.
The main challenge had come from the Liberal Democrats, with a huge swing in their favour. Their candidate was covered in purple powder after a protest on the stage, but remained upbeat about the night's result.
I think there are a lot of messages to be learned from this by-election. The first is that the Liberal Democrats are very clear challengers to Labour at every level. The second is that the Conservatives aren't seen as credible opposition either at local level in Hartlepool or, I think, in terms of government.
There's been a marked change in votes since 2001. Labour are significantly down on the last election by 18 percentage points. The Lib Dems are the main beneficiaries, up by 19. The UK Independence Party has burst onto the scene, taking 10% of the vote this time. The Tories are the big losers, down by 11 percentage points. The Conservative campaign here never really took off. Their candidate pledged to take drug addicts off the street and save the local hospital. But the party was quickly overtaken by the Lib Dems and saw many of its voters switch to the UK Independence Party. The Tory leadership today tried to put a brave face on a disastrous result.
I think when we come to the general election, people who voted UKIP in Hartlepool will look at who they want to have in government. They'll say, do they want to have a Labour Party that will sell out to Europe or a Conservative Party that will bring powers back from Brussels? And I think we will see people returning to vote for the Conservatives.
UKIP say their third place is more than a protest vote and insist it's only a matter of time before they get a Westminster MP elected.
Well, we beat the Liberal Democrats in total votes at the European election. We beat the Conservatives last night, who said that it's three-party politics. But if it is three-party politics, one of those three parties is certainly UKIP.
The Tories were shutting up shop here in Hartlepool this morning, keen to put a disappointing result behind.